Deadline, Chapter 23. Sweet Jesus. Who should I tell? Should I tell one? Should I tell three? What the hell? Tell them all. All that contemplation, then I opened my mouth, and out come the beans. 2 periods after I said it, the whole school knew that the hand I've drawn, and students walk around me like I have anthrax powder on my shoes, proving I wasn't that far correct from my original decision. Cody hung with me. Dallas disappeared. I think she went home. But file this under, if you want to give God a good laugh. I walk into school a couple of minutes before class this morning to find the halls quiet as church. I'm nostalgic enough to think it's about me until I catch a glimpse of Mr. Cowan sitting in the principal's office, his forehead pressed against the flat surface of Mr. Phelps's desk, his body convulsing. Sooner Cowan's was killed last night, car wreck, not far from the bridge where Becky Sanders died during Coach's senior year. Just a random, senseless accident. Sooner took Ellen Marker, the girl who stood him up for homecoming, for a late burger at Clear Creek Station, which is about 7 miles outside of town. Mrs. Olson fell asleep driving from town to the Olson Ranch about a mile past Clear Creek. She drifted across the yellow line and hit Sooner and Ellen head-on, dead-on impact. Mrs. Olson has a sprained back and couple of bruises. Mr. Phelps stands with a microphone in the center jump circle before a stunned, silent student body. I can't help thinking the only person rude enough to make the noise in this tomb is the reason we're all here. This exact same scenario is playing out over in council for a girl who is tough enough to hang out with Sooner. Mr. Phelps starts talking, chokes, and takes a deep breath. He tries again, gets a couple of syllables out, stops, and covers his face. Coach steps up, gently elbows Mr. Phelps to the side. Listen, you guys, this is a big hit. One of you was alive yesterday, is gone today. Simple as that. There is no way to sugarcoat it or make it better. A great kid is gone. In council, they're feeling the exact same way. Go ahead to class. Individual teachers will decide what to do with time. Don't be surprised if most of the day is study time or sitting time or thinking time. The Boise School District is sending a couple of counselors for those of you who feel the need, and the teachers will be available to talk during their free periods. Coach lowers his eyes. Guys, this is tough. The spirit and memory of Sooner will walk with us for a long time. He shakes his head. This is senseless. He waves us to class. As Cody and I rise to leave, I glance through the bleachers for Dallas, but she's not there. I gotta get out of here, man. No way I'm sitting through this day. Cody says, want me to go with? Nah, I'm okay. I'll probably run or walk or do whatever I can. I know you don't want that. He smiles and slaps my back gently. Holler if you need me. My cell is on. Can't imagine anyone will give me shit. Can't imagine I'd care if they did. Dad's in the back country in the mail and freight, and Mom's door is closed. I slip upstairs and shove my iPod into the computer to make a playlist for Lost. I start it and end it with a song I found the day I heard from Doc when laying in the store, and one thing I listened to on the hill, Too Old to Die Young. I've since discovered Anne Savory wrote it. She sings with Linda Ronstadt. The lyrics beg for time, sandwiched between the songs with no words. There are no words for this. I glide along Main Street up the frozen dirt road towards the reservoir, over the mile-long earthen dam, and into the hills, jogging slowly. The music sets a pace, and I lean back in it, letting go of my mind. Who knew Sooner had a death sentence too? Jesus would say not destined. Maybe not, but unavoidable because Mrs. Olson decided to drive tired and Sooner decided to go to the restroom before he left, or argue about his bill, or wait for his change, placing him on the grid that would intersect him and Ellen perfectly with Mrs. Olson. Who would have thought I would have more time than Sooner, or Ellen Marker for that matter? None of us will ever be too old to die young. When Mr. Kellens walked out of Mr. Phelps' office. He looked like he didn't want to live one more day. All the meanness was drained out of him. I wonder what he thought of ending Sooner's career with a broken collarbone. What are the markers thinking over in council? None of these people had the advantage I have of knowing, preparing. I jogged down the woods, retracting my steps, running part of the way, walking some and stopping when I have to, resting my hands on my knees. I imagine I can feel myself slowly draining. My God, I want to make it to the end of this year so the student body won't fall back into the desperate hole I saw them in today. Cody and I, and Delvin, and Glover, and Sooner's dad, and a cousin from his mom's side carry the casket at Sooner's funeral. There's not a church in town large enough to accommodate this crowd, so we use the school gym. Jocks from other schools show there are probably more people in this gym than there are in town. After we bring the casket in from the hearse, Cody and the other guys and I sit with the team, and Coach sits next to Mr. Cowan. I have never heard Old Man Cowan say a nice word to or about him, but Coach is there, hand between Boomer's shoulder blades, propping him up as if they were brothers. Sooner's mom is quiet and stoic, not a tear, and she never takes her eyes off the casket, nor does she touch her husband. Never have I been in the presence of so much regret. Cody taps my knee and whispers, I can't do this, little big man. He rises, works his way past the team and out the door. My brother has just looked to the next funeral. In the distance, I can hear him wailing. This is not going to be easy. Someone else will have to help carry Sooner out. While I'm watching the door, Dallas slips into Cody's seat. She never says a word, but when the service is finished, she pats my leg and disappears. I have no idea what that means.